all of you guys joining us today. Welcome. We're just letting some of the participants come in. We're now, it's rising, so we'll give it a few minutes and then we'll begin shortly. Hi everyone, if you're joining us just now, again, welcome to the demo day. We're just about to start. We're at about, the participants are still rising, so bear with us and we will begin shortly. Thanks. Okay, everybody, I'd like to welcome everyone today. Thanks for joining us today for the Benefit FinTech Award. This year's theme, we actually run this project. This is the second year running that we run this in partnership with everyone that you see up here. So basically I will go and introduce everyone and go through that. But this year's theme, the Benefit FinTech Award, is FinTech for Open Banking. And for those of you joining us, welcome to the demo day. If you don't know me already, my name is Suzy Alzira and I'm head of communications and events for Bahrain FinTech Bay. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background about this program. So this challenge started in January, way before we actually went into the situation that we are now. We started registrations, we had all these teams sign up, and then they were supposed to pitch on our OpenX conference that was actually physically and on stage. And of course, due to the situation, literally a week before the actual event, we decided to obviously hold back. And in the meantime, then we said, well, why are we waiting for this to change? At that time, I think we were all optimistic that this thing would go away and maybe, not come back, so it not take this long, definitely. So we decided to move the program virtually. And for this program, I'm very proud of because it's actually turned into an incubation program. 6 months into it, these teams have worked really hard. Now here we are today for the final. They thought it'd be over in a couple of weeks. It took 6 months to get to this point. So this event is under the patronage of the Central Bank of Bahrain and Benefit basically with Global Shapers and ourselves. We've been hosting this for the last 2 years. So basically, we've got a lot of support here. So during the 6 months, we had, and I want to thank very much Tariq Matar, and as well as Ali Majdoub and Shaheen, who basically really worked really hard with the teams every week. Also to Tarabat Gateway, who's on our judging panel as well. They really supported these open banking teams with information they needed, and so on. So without further ado, without going on forever, I'd like to first of all introduce Hanan Hassan, who is assistant manager at the Benefit Company. And she'll give us a little bit background on this program and what it means to benefit. Go ahead, Hanan.
Thank you, Susie. Hello, everyone. Speaking on behalf of all Benefit employees, I would like to thank everyone here today. I would like to thank all our partners and mentors for all the hard work they have put during these months. Without them, this couldn't be of any success. I would like to thank also the teams for all the hard work they have put into improving this important topic of open banking. We're all looking forward to see the final demos of them. I would like to thank our judges, and I wouldn't take any longer here, so I'll leave you to introduce the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hanan. Thank you very much. We also have Shaheen. I guess I'd love you to say a few words on behalf of the Global Shapers and the excellent work you guys have been doing to support and to be a part of this program. Shaheen, I'll leave it with you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Susie. So I would just like to start by honoring the success of the second year of the Benefit FinTech Award, which, as you alluded to, transformed from a hackathon to an incubation over the course of 6 months. And I would like to also thank the Central Bank of Bahrain, Benefit, and obviously Bahrain FinTech Bay for really fostering and building the ecosystem for open banking and FinTech itself. And obviously Ernst & Young, GDG, and Tarabat Gateway for really being our knowledge partners and really help the participants in shaping their solutions and ideas to actual implementable businesses. And what does that mean for us as shapers, as a representative of the shaper? I think our goal here is really to enable opportunities to better serve our community, whether it's locally, regionally, and globally. Finally, I think, reflecting on the past 6 months, I see 3 main themes, which, it's funny enough that the analogy of it is actually COVID. So COVID did disrupt us, and as well as technology also disrupted us. But the course here is to act, and to act fast. So with technology, we created FinTech. And it also requires some level of resilience, despite the challenges that we went through. So banks were challenged, but the banks that were able to act fast were resilient enough to be even more successful as the disruptor, which is technology, came into play. And finally is the strong collaboration of the stakeholders. So whether it's regulators, such as the central bank, whether it's housing entities, such as Bahrain FinTech Bay, and as well as the entrepreneurs who look for opportunities and inefficiencies to take advantage of that. So overall, I would really like to thank the participants, the partners, and all the attendees today. I'm really looking forward to hear all the ideas. I've been working with some of the teams very closely, but I wouldn't take any longer. I'll leave it up to Susie to introduce the judges, but thank you all.
Thank you, Shaheen. Thank you for the work. Yes, I'm really excited for the teams as well. I forgot to thank the teams, and yet we're super thrilled to be watching their final demos today. Okay, so on the judging panel, I have from the Benefit Company, Hamed Salim, who's Supervisor of Business Services and Development. Hi, Hamed. Welcome to the panel.
Hi, guys, and wish you all good luck in this event.
Thank you. Okay, we have Badur Al-Mullah, who's an analyst at the FinTech and Innovation Unit at the Central Bank of Bahrain. Hi, Badur.
Hi, Susie, and hi, everyone. I'm excited to get to learn about what you've been working on the past couple of weeks.
Thank you. And we have with us Tarek Al-Olaimi, who's co-founder and managing director of 3BL Associates and also Manama Shaper. Hi, Tarek.
Hello, Susie. Thank you, and congratulations to all the teams in advance and to all involved in putting this together.
We have Rida Shah, operations manager at Tarabat Gateway. Hi, Rida.
Hi, Susie. Hi, everyone. Good luck to all the team members today.
And finally, last but not least, is our own Badr Satter, who's head of business development and acceleration at Bahrain FinTech Bay. Hi, Badr.
Hi, Susie. Good luck to all the teams today. Excited to hear what you guys have ready for us.
Wonderful. We're ready to go. Okay, Amina, if you can introduce the first team, we'll get going with the XR.
So I'd like to introduce our first startup we'll be pitching today, EXR, a digital alternative to germ-filled receipts. Susie, if you can pop the video.
The oldest receipt ever found was for 5 sheep, a lamb, and 4 grass-fed lamb kits. We're talking about 4,500 years ago, when the paper was invented. To generate a paper receipt, a lot of chemicals are used. And all these chemicals then produce greenhouse gases. Paper receipts are non-recyclable. If we try to decompose them, they also produce more greenhouse gases. According to American Journal of Nursing, organisms can live on paper for up to 72 hours, and they can still cultivate and spread. Paper receipts also contain a chemical, BPA, which is a cancer-causing agent. Most of the people working at the checkout counters have 30% more BPA in their body than the regular adults. BPA can alter the way our cell system works. It can also affect our immune system, and it can also change the overall behavior of a cell. So we're talking about a dangerous chemical here. All this led to invention of XR. XR is an alternative to germ-filled paper receipts, which are not recyclable. Our mission is to digitalize paper receipts and convert their data into more useful and accessible for the companies, for the customers, as well as other corporates. To achieve our mission, we will be creating an ecosystem of financial services. We will be collaborating with existing and new financial services and institutions, so that we can work for everybody and bring more benefit to everyone. Apart from the problem of greenhouse gases, paper receipt doesn't really give any insight on the customer behavior and their spending. To tackle this problem, XR came up with a solution. XR digital receipts. You will never lose a receipt ever again. You will receive discounts for the products and services that you care for. You will be able to understand your financial habits better. Plus, you will be able to reduce your carbon footprint. XR system is a data network that will deliver paper receipts directly into your banking and finance app. We did a survey of 150 professionals in Bahrain. Out of those, 144 said they were using online payments. And 99 said that they keep their receipts. And 143 said they will be using our system. During the market validation, we found that in 2019, a total of 73.68 million transactions were performed using credit card and debit card. That is about 2.43 billion dinars. Up to June 2020, we have about 37.38 million transactions for a value of 1.03 billion dinars. We're looking at a market size of 30 retail banks, about 88 financial institutes, and more than 15,000 retailers. Our business model will be very simple. We will keep it pay as you go. And if you have a high transaction value, you will definitely get more discounts. Along with this, the other competitive advantages are that you will be getting insight of your customers' behavior. You will be able to increase your sales by delivering products and the offers that customer really care for, therefore increasing your loyalty. At present, we have 2 team members, and we believe it's time that we ditch the paper receipts and switch to digital receipts. XR, it's time.
Hitinder, if you can open your camera to start with the Q&A session. Hitinder, can you confirm?
Hello?
Hi, yes.
Hi. How are you guys?
All right.
I'm up in the north.
Carry away.
Hi. Hi, Hamad. How are you? Hi, Shaheen. Mother, how are you guys?
All good.
And Tariq, Udur, and Rida. How are you guys?
Maybe I can shoot off the first kind of question.
Sure.
Right now, with more and more people using, tap to go and quicker payment solutions, where do you think, how does your solution, or is there still a relevance for your type of solutions where the number of transactions that are happening, and most people pay attention to the transactions that they have based off of their app? How do you, how will you, manage that kind of relationship? And what kind of plans do you have for, integrations into existing PFM apps and so on moving forward?
Right. So if I understand your question, you just want to know that how we are going to integrate with the existing apps, wallets, PFM, or anything like that.
Yeah, and then also, how do you ensure that the existing infrastructure of retailers will accept your version of the receipt as a replacement to a physical receipt?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, so definitely we need to have a value proposition for all of these. So the idea is that our data network would integrate into the POS systems, and it will also have RESTful APIs, like rest of the world is using the open APIs. We'll be building it on open standards. We'll be following the RFC standards as well. So our APIs will be very easy for any app, any existing website, or anybody. I mean, anybody who's doing a company owning a wallet app, or let's say Benefit Pay for this matter, or any PFM app, or anybody who wants to use our system will be able to simply integrate using our APIs. Plus, on top of that, we will be integrating with the vendors using their POS systems. And in return for that, they will also have an inbuilt analysis and more insight of the customer behavior, which will be more like a BI option will also be there into the dashboard, which will allow them to, which will allow them to understand the customers better. So that is our USP for the retailers. It's a collaboration thing. It's more like creating an ecosystem. So it's not going to go on its own. We need all of these guys to come on board, because another thing about the retailers is that there is a lot of investment that they have to do to produce the paper receipts. There's a lot of money. If you look at the paper receipts, we are talking about 600 fills for a roll, a single roll that you have. That's about 80 meters long, and it produces on an average of 400 receipts. So if you look at the paper, the cost of the paper that goes into printing these receipts, the cost of having the device itself, the cost of having a technician to take care of these receipts and the machines, the infrastructure, the electricity. I mean, all of that, if you look at that, it's a huge cost. I'm pretty sure that vendors like Carrefour, Lulu, or others who are doing thousands of transactions a day would be really interested to see how they can save this kind of money.
Just a quick follow-up before I leave the other judges to ask. In the initial transition period, let's say, for instance, Carrefour, today you sign with them, they're on board, or whoever it is come on board. How do you manage the transition period between when they sign on and when they, as a provider or as a retailer, stop issuing physical receipts? Because I don't assume that, I assume that there's obviously going to be a transition period or a learning curve from the client's point of view, from the customer's point of view, as in when they are going to start adopting your tech or your app or whatever method, right, to have a digital receipts, right? And so people will initially, I'm assuming there is going to be some kind of a want from people to have some sort of a physical receipt. Not everybody is going to understand the the concepts immediately that they're getting a digital receipt. So how do you manage that transition?
Right. So there are two questions actually here, because one is regarding the end customers and one is regarding the retailers. So I'll start with the end customers. We are definitely going to educate them that what is the long-term effect of the digital receipts on the environment. That's one thing we try to. And also, we did the survey and we figured out that around 65% of the people throw the receipts, which is being actually they were just being, I think, dishonest, to be honest, because 90%, 95% of the receipts goes into the garbage bin the moment you walk out of the store. I would like to know from any of you who actually keeps the receipt. I think nobody keeps the receipts until you keep the receipts. That's nice, nice of you, Rida. But I keep the receipts as well. After a couple of experiences I had with some retailers, well, I don't have to. If you look at that, it's not an easy job to keep receipts. So we need to definitely educate them. We need to make them understand what's the benefit of having digital receipts. And for the Carrefour or anybody else, we're not looking at a very huge or very long transition period. We're looking probably, let's say, a few days of integration, because us. And another, on top of that, we don't want to change the way the people at the checkout counters are working. We don't want to change the way customers are behaving. This is the reason that we will be delivering these receipts directly into the banking app or into the finance app or into the wallet. So if you're paying using Benefit Pay, you get your receipt directly into the Benefit Pay. Yes, in future, we may come up with our own app where you can see all these receipts together. But right now, the idea is to deliver receipts directly into the financial or the banking apps.
So sorry, I just want to follow up on that. So I'm assuming that means if I'm somebody who doesn't use Benefit Pay and I go pay, I wouldn't get a digital receipt?
Now, if you pay, let's say you pay using Standard Chartered credit card, you get your receipt in your Standard Chartered banking app.
Okay.
That's where the open banking thing comes in. That's where the AISP part comes in, because we need the consent from the customer to allow, the transaction things.
Well, what happens with cash transactions?
Right now, we are not focused on cash transactions, but eventually we will be having cash transactions, because our system will be able to generate receipts regardless of the mode of payment. So when we come up with our own app, at that time, we will have the cash transactions being displayed into the mobile app. But right now, our focus is only finance, financial apps like Benefit Pay, other wallets, even the wallets that are at present part of the Benefit FinTech program. So all of those and all the upcoming wallets. So all of those we will be collaborating with all of them, plus the cards.
So I just have a question. In your video, you had talked about going out to, I'm sorry, I might have forgotten, but you'd gone out and talked to financial institutions where you had that bar chart. Was it
No,
only financial institutions?
Sorry to cut you off. I did a survey of 150 professionals, which is a mix of IT people, some people who are from banks, and it's a mix. I mean, most of them, there are young guys, there are middle-aged people. So we're looking at around 150. I sent it to 300 people, got around 150 people who came back to me saying that they will definitely use the service.
That they would use it. Were you able to go out to retailers? So as Bedr had mentioned, Carrefour or other shops or retail shops to see how their view of this would be?
Well, they are okay. I discuss with them more on the technical level because that's how I'm working on an MVP right now. We are in the stage of bootstrapping our plus I quit my job for the thing, so it's going to happen anyways. So basically, Carrefour, for example, they already have digital receipts, but they have digital receipts in their My Club app, which is, but again, at the same time, they still give you a physical receipt. So all of that is going to get eliminated because Carrefour is looking positively on the digital receipts. They're already putting it in their app.
Thank you, Hiten, so much for your answer. If we can move Susie to the next startup. Thank you, judges, for your questions.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Farhan and I have a question for you. Have you ever went to a supermarket, picked up the items you need, went to the counter and then realized that you forgot your wallet at home? Well, it did happen to me and frankly it was quite embarrassing, but it made me realize something really important, that there has to be a solution to be able to make transactions without having to rely on your wallet. Thankfully, Team DigiTransit has come up with a solution, a system that lets you make transactions using your biometrics without needing anything else. With DigiTransit, you are the bank card and the wallet. So how does it work? Well, the counters in the supermarkets will be installed with a mobile phone or a POS device. You go to the counter, you enter your biometrics, you enter the PIN, you select the card you want to pay from, and that's it. Now we understand what the idea is. Let's talk about how it affects the stakeholders. 15% of all bank-related fraud is stolen or lost cards. With our idea, the use of bank card is minimized, hence this can be avoided. Moreover, the process to make payments is shortened, which increases the customer satisfaction. Lastly, each bank has to provide its user with a physical card. The US prints a total of 165 million cards per year. That's one card every 5 seconds. With our idea, this number can be cut down and the expense can be avoided. In 2019, there were 300,000 e-wallet users in Bahrain. A total of 15 million transactions took place, which resulted in 328 million Bahraini dinars being transacted. Based on our prediction, we seek a target market of 60,000 users with an expected revenue of 1.31 million Bahraini dinars. Here is a comparison of pre-existing solutions in the market with our idea. As you can notice, none of them are as complete of a solution as we are. We are a team of diverse skill set and we believe we can change the way we make transactions by the touch of a fingertip.
Over to the judges. DigiTransit, if I can have you raise your hands, please. Just a question to the attendees. Sorry, attendees, if you are not part of the team, kindly don't raise your hand just to avoid confusion.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Farhan. Judges, I leave it to you for the questions.
If I may ask a question to Farhan, I have a question regarding your unique selling point. You mentioned that there are 4 or 3 wallets in Bahrain with missing features. Can you elaborate what are you adding as a value proposition, as a unique selling point to the ecosystem in the kingdom?
Okay. First of all, our unique selling point is that our payment does not require any sort of internet connection or having to carry around your wallet or your card for that matter. So if you look at Benefit Pay or Viva Cash or B Wallet, you're going to notice that you are required to carry something which sort of reduces the convenience for the consumer. In our idea, we do not require that. You can just simply walk into a vendor barehanded and make the transaction. So our selling point basically is that you are the card. You don't need to carry anything on you.
Just to follow up here, have you used tap and pay feature and Benefit Pay that recently using the cards?
No, I have not personally used it, but I know about it.
Can you elaborate what is the difference? Because what you are mentioning is the same as what is in Benefit Pay product.
Yeah. Well, the difference is quite significant. See, with Benefit, if I'm not mistaken, like I said, I've not personally used it, but you're still required to have an internet connection, right?
No, for tap and pay, no.
Okay, so can I answer this question?
Yes, Najam, go ahead.
Okay, so for tap and go, you need a credit card. Our selling point is you don't need a credit card. Even you don't need to take out your credit card or your mobile phone. All you need is your fingertip, and you can do the transaction using that.
So effectively, I think what you're doing is you're removing the need for your phone. More than anything, it's about not needing any additional over what's existing. So without the need for your wallet nor your telephone. I think if I may ask a question, and what differentiates you between you and Easy Financial and what they're doing with their biometric payment system that they have set up? Because I think when you put down the list of competitors, you compared yourself with wallets, which I don't necessarily think is necessarily your main kind of competitors. I think your main competitors would be either the traditional network for payments or an alternative network for payments that does not require a card verification or any other type of verification. So how do you fit? I mean, where does Easy kind of fit with this? Because they've already been on this for the past couple of years.
So what we are doing is we are connecting all the cards and banks within our system, and we are just providing a payment method that will give convenience to the merchants and to the customers. So it's just a way to make transactions.
Actually, I want to add something to that. Like as a startup, we want to start with just like a transactions, but the app will develop more, where it will become even like you can add more functions to it. Like you can add the budgeting, like you can monitor your budget, you can see where your money is going and whatnot. And like you can manage all your accounts in just like in one system. So that will help a lot, yeah.
As a customer, how do I register or apply for this? Is there an app that I would have to put all my cards into and then put my biometrics into, and how does that link into a shop's system, like a grocery store or whatever it is?
the process is quite similar to what you have in benefits. So when you register your account with a bank, you have to register your biometrics as well, right? And then we are going to have an app to manage your accounts and make transactions if you wish to. But as far as going to the vendor side is going to have an interface that could be a mobile or a point of sale terminal with a built-in biometrics. And what you're going to do is you're going to input your biometrics, and that will show you that will make the transaction from your defaultly selected account. But if you wish to make the transaction from, let's just say your default account was NBB and you wish to make the transaction from some other one, so you're going to have an option below to choose another one, and you hit that option, and that's it, you make the transaction.
And I'm assuming the vendor would also have to be registered within your application for this to process. So if I go to a vendor that hasn't been registered, I can't use biometrics to pay. Right?
Yeah, the vendor would have to be registered, definitely.
And how would you reduce the cost of registration for each vendor?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear you.
How would you reduce the cost for registration for each vendor? What is that model?
Most of the vendors we went to, they already have a point of sale device. So in most cases, it's already there. We're not requiring them to have an extra hardware. The only exception is the inclusion of biometrics, right? For example, if you go to a vendor, they have this point of sale terminal that you have to swipe your card on. Or in case of tapless cards, I hope I said that right. You have to tap the card on the terminal. So I think it's really not the case that we're requiring something really extra or out of the line for the vendors to have.
Okay, can you speak a bit more to that validation process with those potential vendors? You know, was there any demoing that you did with them? Any other outreach? Can you just speak more to that in that process?
Okay, we did go to some vendors, and we reached out to some people as well, and the overall feedback was quite positive, right? But of course, we did not go into the technical details with the vendors and the general public. But if I recall, we went to some of the vendors nearby where we're situated, and the outcome was quite positive. The feedback was positive. They were willing to have it.
So can I ask just a quick question? How do you intend to do the user onboarding of the biometric information? Because currently all, actually, yeah. So how do you intend to do it? Because I mean, currently all Android and iOS systems have a closed loop system for biometric verification. The data never leaves the phone, and it is actually possible to get the biometric data from the sensors outside of the phone to share it out as a security feature to protect and safeguard on fingerprint information. So does that mean that? So how do you intend to go around that? Do you need to have your potential customers visit somewhere, or how does that work?
Okay, if I understood your question correctly, I'll walk you through the process. First of all, like I said, when you register your bank account with the bank, you register your biometrics as well, right? And on the vendor side, when you go to a vendor, he's already gonna have a point of sale, ideally a point of sale device, where the customer has to just input his biometrics and the payment will be done. So does that answer the question?
Okay, I mean, no, I mean, I think yeah, it does. So it will be from the bank's side. You're doing the collections for the biometric data.
Yeah, definitely. We're not gonna have a database or a collection of users' biometrics or data. We're just gonna use the bank's database, the bank's records, for verification, and will be acting as sort of a third party, a middleman, to make the transaction possible.
I have another question, Farhan, with regards to the use of biometrics. If you know now that the people are pretty much skeptic with regards to the COVID-19, it's all about hygiene and not touching material. How are you as a team tackling this globally?
Okay, we saw this question coming. First of all, at the time we came up the idea, COVID was not at least not present in Bahrain. Secondly, if you go to a vendor or a supermarket, you notice that you already have like cash transactions, like receipt and cash and whatnot. And this is something that can be easily tackled. For example, even if you make a card transaction, you have to hand in the card, right? So it's already there. And secondly, this can be easily encountered by just having one sanitizer at each counter. I don't think this is a really big problem, because it's going to happen regardless, even if we don't.
Have you validated this with consumers? Like, have you validated this problem with real people?
Like I said, none of the consumers we talked to had this concern. I'm completely being honest here. We did not get this, but we did see this question coming, and I think the counter to this problem is quite easy, and it's something that's gonna happen regardless of our idea, whether we do have our idea or not. We have the exchanging of cards, of notes, of receipts, so it's already there.
All right, thank you, Farhan, for your answers. Thank you, judges, for the questions. We'll move on to the next startup.
Thank you.
Now we'll be
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ruwaida Al-Arabi. I am the CEO and co-founder of FastFin. With a market size of 1.8 million cars in Bahrain market by 2030, 45K of them are serviceable available car loans. Only 11K of them are currently processed by banks. For only 11K of car loans are done insufficiently every year. Our friend Ali was one of them. He suffered several days to check his bank car loan rates. He had to take some time off his work to submit documents and waiting for the quotation and then the approval or not. Imagine if he wants to check more banks for more options, how much time and effort consumed to do so. Ali imagined this application, that he has all the documents already available at his bank and any other bank if he wants. He has all the bank car loan rates available and he can just pick and choose from. That his choice comes from a study of his credit history and risk analysis, so he can pick a loan he can afford. This is the solution. FastFin. Get your finance right and fast. With only a click of a button, he can choose his bank, get the consent of open banking, check other bank loan rates, and check the loan he can afford, and then go pick his car. Our competitive advantages comes from open banking. Open banking provides all the bank rates, car loans on real time, and with the availability of his account, we can validate his loan or not. There are platforms available for comparison, but without the consolidated information of all banks or real time as we have. We have ease, speed, and convenience. And open banking gives us the scalability, not only for other loans like personal or a mortgage, but to other countries as well. Our target market is customers and banks. For customers, we give them the right loan fast, and for banks, we increase their customer base. Our business model depends on the commission. We have two streams of commissioning, one for the new loan and the other for the new customer added to a new bank. Our time to market, we are hoping by end of 2021 or even before to have the application ready and running. With only 10% of available loans, our target revenue first year is 110,000, and by year 2 we can break even with only a conservative growth rate of 4%. Our team is myself, Roida Al-Arabi, co-founder and CEO, and Tayyib Hussein, co-founder and CTO. Any questions?
Roida, if you can open your camera for the questions.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you all?
Alaikum salam.
I'm ready.
Roida, I have a question for you.
Please.
So will you be connecting the consumers to the banks, or will your platform make the decision on the loan and then relay it back to the bank? How's that going to work?
Okay, we're using open banking to have all the data of any customer aggregated, and we can have the advice to the customer which bank he can go and get the loan from based on his credit score.
Okay, so they'll have a number of banks to choose from based on the credit score that they have.
Actually, based on what is open banking, I mean, Tarawut Gateway has the connection to begin with.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Yeah, also from my side, I think just to understand, you're starting with cars. Is this idea to maybe be scaled out to other types of products and other types of loans that banks are also offering, or is this very specific to the automotive industry?
Yes, we are starting with the automotive industry to check how it will go. And supposedly, if everything went well with it, we are targeting personal loans, we are targeting mortgage loans. It depends. It's like a start, and we are going to have this done with the rest of the any other service, not only loans. Actually, we have a lot of things in mind. We can add on insurance, we can have loyalty programs. It all depends on that we have all the data, and we allow the customer to do what he should do. And based on that, we can give him a lot of services more.
Ruwaida, have you had the chance to go talk to customers on how they would kind of engage with this product and talk to banks or other institutions?
Okay, we didn't talk to banks. We are totally counting on open banking platform because it's somehow will give us everything in our hand. We talked to customers about having this application. Like, do you like to have your car through an app? And of course, 90% of them were pro the application. We talked to customers about the pain. What did they have to get their car? For Bahrainis, maybe it's easier, but for expats, for instance, they have to go through a lot of things and time and effort to be able to validate their loan. And open banking actually not only concentrating on the bank of the customer's account that has his account in, it goes to other banks because we have all the services from other banks. and we're offering it in front of the customer. So if the credit score allows him to have this loan from a good bank, any other good bank, so he can easily just click a button, have the consent, and his data goes to the new bank, and he has the loan.
Can I just
Does
ask?
this answer your question? Sorry, Rida?
So,
hello?
Can I just ask a quick question? One of the judging criteria that we kind of need to look at when we're evaluating the startups is the teams and the team's ability to kind of execute on the idea, the business model that they put in place. Can you just, I mean, you mentioned briefly about yourself and your co-founder, but can you just talk a little bit about, a bit of your experience and how you're going to actually be able to execute on your business model that you built?
We have experience in business, and my colleague is an engineer, and he has a lot of experience on programming and all these customer related type of services. I am an engineer as well. I worked in telecom, and I used to work in Zen and a lot of other companies. And lately I have my own SME, let's say. It's been for 9 years now. It's in another branch. It's export and import in cosmetics. But because I really like to have a new startup and fintech and all of that, and the ecosystem here is really encouraging to go beyond what you have in mind. So I attended some presentations about the fintech, and here we go. Hopefully we will add to the ecosystem, inshallah.
May I answer a little bit about myself?
Please.
I have like around 15 years of experience, and I am developing IT solutions, mostly mobile applications, these web applications. Right now I am in the role of a project management, but I do like software development and mobile application. So being my strength is basically in IT and basically the programming part. So executing this kind of a project is a challenge, but based on my experience and also aware that it's not something that we cannot achieve. Plus, what we are looking into is the open API, the open banking API. As soon as they launch some kind of an API, even for the test bed, we can easily able to produce our prototype into a little bit of a working prototype that we can easily launch and distribute to people to see how our idea works.
Thank you.
Just a small clarification here. Tayyib, have you managed to develop this prototype or a minimum viable product to test it with some consumers using the APIs provided by Tarabat, for example, or this was still not happened at this stage?
Still it is not happened so far because the open APIs, the open banking APIs are still not published to the user, to the customer, or to us, even a third party to test it. So that's the only thing that is blocking us from doing this one. So as soon as it is done, we are able to launch this kind of a prototype within a 1 to 2 month basis.
But have you developed a kind of a mock-up or a minimum viable product that you can test with the consumers?
So far, we just developed, you can call it as a wireframes or prototypes, and we have shown also in the presentation. That's what we have so far developed. And we are just waiting for the go-ahead from open banking APIs so that if they publish, then we can easily integrate them and use them for minimal viable product.
All right, thank you for your questions. We'll go on to the next startup, eJamعية.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kauthar Al-Gallaf. I'm 36 years old and I'm the founder of eJam'iyya. Before I explain the idea, let me share with you Muna story. Muna, she's a mother, single mom, doing her master's degree and has a child who's diabetic. She has to pay her an insulin pump and pay her college fees. So she went to her family asking them to start a Jam'iyya so she can have extra cash. But none of them, they were interested in it because they have obligations. So here comes the solution, a mobile application that would digitize the concept of the traditional Jam'iyya to a platform for pooling funds. Our key features is it's safer, easier, convenient, and credible, and also fixed payout dates, which is something you cannot find in the traditional Jam'iyya. The product where the host will be able to put their information, and they will have two options, create Jam'iyya and also to view their Jam'iyya. Creating Jam'iyya, they have to specify the amount they want for Jam'iyya, the number of months, and the number of participants, and then they can add the participants' details. Once it's all uploaded, the participants will receive a reminder on a monthly basis, so they can send the amount they should pay on a monthly basis to benefit pay to the host account. And then once the total amount is in the account of the host, he will get or she will get a reminder or a push notification to transfer the money to the participant. And the other option, which is to view Jam'iyya, they will see how many Jam'iyyas they participated in and also how many payments are due. The business model, the host and the participants will send the money once it's collected in the host account to the participant as per the specific date, and the host will be paying a flat fee, registration fee by each Jam'iyya they create. Per our study, the market size is 125 billion BHD, given loans in GCC for non-commercial and non-investment, and also in Bahrain market it's 4.30 billion, and the obtainable market is 40 million Bahraini dinars. As of the survey and the market research, we got 108 responses, which reflect 72% are interested to have Jam'iyya on a mobile application. And 43% of them, they like to have it for 1 year and 1.5 years as of duration of Jam'iyya. And 41% of them, they participate in Jam'iyya once in a year. The competition, as you can see, we have it in Egypt, Saudi, and Pakistan, and we are outweighting them by having privacy where the host know the participants and vice versa. We have open banking. We are lucky. We are in Bahrain. We are one of the pioneer countries who has applying open banking, and also we have reward program. The roadmap that we want to launch the MVP on the first quarter of 21 and launch the full app and reward program by the fourth quarter of 21 and the third quarter of 22 to expand to the Kuwaiti market. We're looking at having 33.8Ks as a capital to start up the idea. The team is myself, Kauthar Al-Gallaf. I have a background of management, information system, risk management, project management, and also Deputy CII from UK Insurance. I have roughly 10 years experience. My team is Nizar Ghazi, who's doing finance and accounting in Kent University in UK, and also Malik Diya, he's a final year in Polytechnic University doing programming. Thank you. I would like to express my gratitude to my mentor, Ali Al-Majdoub, for being very professional and supportive all through doing this pitch.
All right, Kauthar, if you can prop up your camera for the question and answer.
Hello, hi everyone.
All right, judges.
Kauthar, my question is, how is this linked to open banking?
Well, with being privileged to be in Bahrain, and Bahrain is one of the pioneer countries who is obtaining the open banking, we believe that through the application, we can retrieve so many details through the app API, so we can validate if the customers who are eligible to be part of it. Of course, the app will go in different stages, and the first one will be like a ledger. Then once we get enough traction, we're going to move to another stage, which basically people, I can enter a Jam'iyya with anyone without me knowing them. But the first stage is basically to have Jam'iyya as the traditional way with the people that I know.
I have a question to you, Kauthar. With regards to Jam'iyya, I would say the main obstacle of like people joining Jam'iyyas is the trust issue.
Yes, exactly.
How are you as a startup resolving this? How would you validate, I would say, the credibility of those people joining the Jam'iyya?
Exactly. This is why we are doing the concept in different stages. And as I mentioned, we're going to start up with having a ledger where the host know the people or the participant that they already participated in Jam'iyya with before. So they can start having a Jam'iyya on a digital platform instead of having it the normal way where the host have to chase the participant and remind them to pay the amounts per month. So basically, we're going to kick off with that circle of trust, having only the traditional or the people that know each other as a first stage. Then once we create enough traction, then we go to the second stage where people I can, given my history and giving the data that I can retrieve from open banking to validate if this person is eligible to be in Jam'iyya or not. And we have also a security to have the credit card, for instance, in case I don't know the people that they're participating in Jam'iyya, just to make sure that everyone will be committed to pay their shares of the Jam'iyya.
Hi, Kauthar. Just to follow up with Hamid's question. So what happens if someone misses a payment? Does it get deducted directly from their credit card, or how does it work?
Yes, exactly. The thing is that we're looking in case of default, someone is not paying what they're supposed to pay. For the first stage, we transferring the risk on the host, as we said, because the host know the participants, so they have to have that kind of trust and being responsible. But for the second stage, as we put the credit card as a requirement and a security, in case if the participant is not paying, the amount will be deducted from the credit card.
So can I ask just a couple of questions? First off, I mean, you're currently planning on having this as a separate standalone application? And my kind of thought process is that, would you be open to what made you choose that path instead of having it be a add-on or an additional feature that can be added onto an existing platform like Benefits Pay, which I think just kind of makes sense because that's where people already are managing those kinds of transactions. And then another follow-on to that is you're looking at for your first stage, doing it from people that you already know, right? So what differentiates you then from somebody using the current existing Benefits Pay app and using the split payment functionality, which already exists there, to have a basically the list of people attending each month, and then opening up one of those sheets on a monthly basis?
Yeah, for the first part of your question, we've been in talk with Benefit and they were really supportive. Benefit Pay, they're giving us the chance to have 1 to 2 months trial actually to use their app checkout. So basically, because they're giving their success, they have the biggest market acquisition when it comes to fintechs. So basically, the money transfer will be through Benefit Pay. And for the other, sorry, can you just repeat the second part of the question?
Sorry,
how we make ours different?
Okay. So for the first part of the question, it's more towards, can you have a Jam'iyya function added onto Benefits Pay? So it's an additional feature. So
yes, we are flexible. Yeah, we are flexible. That depends on the rules and regulation. And we've been in touch as well with the CBB to explore what are the requirements for us so we can take it forward.
So, and then the second question is, so to start off with, we have to know each other to be able to go into this Jam'iyya.
Yes, it's like an organizer, a ledger.
Yeah, so in Benefits Pay right now, there is a split bill function, right? Where
yes.
you put the numbers of people and then you can put the amount, the requested amount, and then you can track if a person has paid that much or not, right?
Yes.
What kind of value add can you give on top of that existing feature which Benefit has, which actually, to some degree, manages that kind of relationship where you can see if somebody's paid or not, and makes it easy for them to make those payments.
Yeah, well, actually, I was in talk with Benefit Pay, and I was looking at if we are able to have an app checkout where the customer will get their details fully on the screen. But unfortunately, they have a limitation for the app checkout when it comes to Benefit Pay. Yes, they have it as inside the app, but for an external application. And definitely, if they like to collaborate and we have this feature to be added within Benefit Pay, that would be even more functional and efficient as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Another question.
Yes,
please go ahead, Arif, please.
I was just going to say, I really appreciate the approach on collaborative finance and also doing it through open banking. A question around your customer base, and what is the customer base you think you'd get the most traction from, within this particular market? Also, with starting with those that is it, young people or family members or cousins who are struggling to save for mortgages? Is it, I just want to get a better idea of who you expect your customer base to be.
Yeah, given the traditional concept, you see that majority of people are doing Jam'iyya when they start working. But why not we educate even the younger generation, even students who are in college, they can start, participating in Jam'iyya so they can even start their own startup. So even entrepreneurs can benefit from being part of Jam'iyya, and also elderly, like people in 50 years old and plus, they are interested. And my mom is one of them. She participate in Jam'iyya at least twice a year. So I believe ladies as well, we like to be part in Jam'iyya to buy the fancy stuff that we want. So there is a big market for it. Like so many people likes to have Jam'iyya. And the amount is like, it depends on each individual. Like I want to have Jam'iyya with 1,000 BD total or 10,000 BD. And some people, they do it up to 70,000 BD as well.
Are you planning to have this focus just in Bahrain, or is this a concept that you're planning to expand out?
Well, given our study for the market, you know that Money Fellow is one of the very famous Jam'iyya concept application. It started in Egypt, and they got really big amount of fundings from different countries. So the concept is kind of Islamic, and it's takaful, like kind people can collaborate in supporting each other. And I believe we have it in our culture across GCC, but it's not limited to. But being pioneer in the market here, that Bahrain is the first who's obtaining open banking, so it can really, the success spreads even around the GCC, not only here.
Just a small question here to you, Kauthar, with regards to business model.
Yes.
You mentioned that the host is going to pay fees as a Jam'iyya creator. Have you validated this with people? Because as of current state, they are doing this out of free pocket. It's the total amount, and the total amount get paid by the Jam'iyya payer. How was the response that you did with regards to this in terms of your business model?
Yes, we've asked, we surveyed our market. We had 108 responses from the people we surveyed, and we asked them this question: if you're willing to pay as a host a flat fee, an amount of 0.500 fils to 0.900 fils, and we had like more than 50% of them, they are agreeing to pay that amount. And we're saving the hustle of the creator of Jam'iyya, because I've been asked so many people who started Jam'iyya, the only struggle that they go through to make people to pay on time. So the other people who should receive the Jam'iyya don't get delayed. So for them, it will make their life easier instead of chasing everyone and make them pay. So basically, the application will make it easier by reminding them and do the part for the host as well.
One last, just very quick question from my side. Do you see other banking apps who have this feature built into it as a potential threat? Because I mean, we know that Illa is right now working on something that they're introducing to the market. Can that be a potential competitor?
Well, having competition is not a bad thing. It shows that you're in the right time. And Ella Bank, I believe that they will apply the concept for their users or their customers, while us as a separate application, we're going to apply it for all banks using the open banking. So we're not categorizing the customers or the participants according to the bank. So everyone can be part of the Jamia that we're creating through open banking. And I would like to add one more thing, that we are focusing on the GRI and the ESG metrics, which is basically reflects on the environmental, social, and government legislation and rules and regulation by CBB. So basically, we are trying to reflect and make our deliverables that have those metrics. So it's more like creating a community and enhancing people, collaborating with each other to create more liquidity within our country.
All right, thank you, Kauthar. Thank you, Malik, for
Thank you so much.
we'll move on to the final team, Hassalti.
Hello everyone and welcome to Hassalti's pitch. Allow me to introduce the team. My name is Abdurrasool Chikrallah and I take care of the business aspects of the project. And this is Ali Al-Mahdi, who's the technical director, and we have Sayed Qasim, who's the designer of the team. Before we start this presentation, I'd like to share with you a personal story. I've started working at the age of 18, and even though I had no real expenses at that time, I was living on a paycheck to paycheck basis with no savings. Then I start to ask myself, where does the money go? And do people feel the same problem? So as a group, we have started to ask this question. Do you remember how much you spent on the last period and on what? From this, we have formulated our problem statement, and we have traced why is it difficult to track your expenses. We have populated a survey and received 130 respondents. 76% of the respondents were from the age 24 to 40 years old, and they were identified as the target market. The highlights of the survey was 81% of the respondents have asked themselves the same question that I did earlier. Where did the money go? And 76% are willing to pay for a solution for this problem. Now that we have identified that there is a problem and opportunity, I'd like to hand over this presentation to Ali to talk about our solution.
Thank you, Abdurrasool. To solve this problem, we have came up with our solution, Hassalti. So the main solution and the proposed solution is basically to use the concept of open banking to retrieve the transaction list. We would also use the automation of transaction categories. We would also allow saving in a Hassala. And finally, we'll use analytics to get the user insights on his spending pattern and behavior. We have developed the prototype using Adobe XD. The first screen is the home screen, where the user will be able to view his expenses and income. He will also be able to view his spending pattern and how much he is spending on each category, and the transactions from which account as well. The spending pattern screen will show the user his customer insights in terms of how much he is spending on each category. The analytics screen will show the user the monthly expenses in a calendar view, where he can view his day-to-day expenses and income. The Hassalti screen will allow the user to create an individual or group Hassala where he can save. And finally, break the Hassala feature will allow the user to retrieve his savings once they are complete, either through his bank account or as a special delivery. We have created the business model canvas. In the business model canvas, we have identified our main revenue streams and the value proposition and cost structure. The main financial information revolves around that we will be able to break even within the first 6 months, and our payback period is 1.5 years. Thank you for listening to our presentation. You can scan the QR code to view the full application prototype.
Thank Thank you, Hasalti, for your pitch. I give it to the judges for the Q&A.
Hi, really good
Hello,
idea.
Weber. Thank you very much.
I really like the way it is. It's been placed and all the ideas and the thought that you've put behind it. My question is, how much are you planning on charging users? So me as a customer, if I want to get on the app, how much would I have to pay and why would I pay to be on the app?
Thank you for this question. We already have thought this through. Initially, you will not have to pay anything, but if you are not willing to pay, we can make our money from the advertisements. And if you want the premium features and the no ad version, you'd have to pay $1 per month.
And is that what your revenue model is based out of? Assuming consumers pay 1 BD and you would break even at the amount of time in the chart that you had shown?
Actually, we are expecting 80% of our users will depend on the free app and the free version. So 80% of our revenue will come from the advertisement, not from the premium.
Okay, and is this going to be an independent app?
Yes, but we're also open to collaborate with any existing app, and we think that our app complements a lot of the existing market banking apps.
Maybe just a quick kind of question. I mean, you see now, I mean, maybe not in this region, but outside, you know, there's a huge growth in these kinds of personal finance management apps and so on. And typically these guys are quite large companies, very well funded, and work directly with large banks. The most successful ones typically work directly with the larger, you know, banks and financial institutions and so on, to offer it as a value-added service to their customers. I was just wondering, you know, how do you see, like, in your position, what will give you the competitive advantage for you to be able to compete with these guys when you start seeing more of them in Bahrain?
Yes, in regards to that question, I have identified, I think you are referring to Monzo, if I'm not mistaken.
Monzo is more of a digital, you know, digital bank offering, but there are a lot of, let's say, third-party PFMs which work as almost like suppliers. So they supply the solution to the banks.
Yes, I have. I'm sorry if I mentioned. Yes,
Yeah.
I have noticed some of the applications and I have tested some of them actually. Most of these applications revolve around the manual transaction categorization. So for the instance, if I pay 2 BD in Starbucks, I would have to go to the application, see that transaction coming up, and I would have to pick and categorize it. In our case, we have come up with a technology in terms of machine learning where we can categorize each transaction. So we can have a list of tags. Let's say in the Starbucks example, Starbucks coffee. So the term coffee, we will categorize it as food and beverages. So that will remove the manual aspect and will give us a competitive advantage as it will automate the categorization process.
One just short, I think, add on to that based off of your response. I mean, I think one of the kind of challenges that some people are facing right now is that large conglomerates or large groups of companies, typically what happens is the payments transactions that show up on the accounts don't necessarily reflect the name of the shop itself. So sometimes you find them, they can be like, you know, whatever, Fatayim or something like
Part
that.
of merchant name, let's say.
Part of, yeah. So how do you look to tackle that?
Actually, I have contacted MasterCard in that regard. MasterCard have a merchant category code. So basically, the merchant category code, it's more of the 75%, let's say, accurate to that merchant goods and services. So if we can link the merchant category code with the categories that we have, we'll able to tackle that in some sense. We can also have the option of
the user changing the category of the transaction, so he can customize it.
And also by the time that the application is used, we can develop the back-end database, because the database will be built day by day. So when we choose some of the transactions on the trigger names, we can update it from our end, so that it reflects better picture directly.
How are you, have you thought about the security of the data that you're going to be hosting? Me as a customer, if, you know, my information, my data about where I'm spending my money, how much money I have, all of these details are on the app.
Definitely, we are all aware about the data protection that was introduced, I think, last August from the last year. So we strongly believe that CBP and the laws of Bahrain will directly tackle this problem, and we will be in line with all the laws and regulations of the country. So we'll definitely have to abide for that law.
All right, do we have any further questions?
Well, guys, I guess that's a wrap. You've heard all 5 teams. Thank you to all of the teams that participated today. What we're going to do now is we're going to go on the other link, the judges that you have that sent to you. I'll be on there, so we'll deliberate. I think we'll come back at 6 o'clock to the same link. Some of you can stay. This link remains open, but the rest of you, it just come back at exactly 6 o'clock. So we'll see you then for the final, the answers to who's the winners. So let's get on the other link, judges, and see you guys all in a little while.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. So right now we'll be going on a break. We'll be back in around 30 minutes. You can stay on this call and have it prompted to the side, and then we'll come back in 30 minutes when we have the decision. Hi, Susie. Welcome back. Hi, everyone. We're just waiting until the rest of the judging panel to join the call, and then we'll start with the announcements shortly.
Thanks, Amina.
Okay, Susie, are we going to go live?
About to start. Yep, we're live now. Thank you everyone for having patience, and I think we're all ready now. I'd just like to say before I hand you over to Hanan Hassan, I'd just like to say thank you very much from Bahrain FinTech Bay. We absolutely enjoyed hosting, the teams. You did a great job. All of you did a wonderful job, and we hope to see all of you. Well, we'll definitely see 3 of you, but we'll hope to see all of you in other future programs, or any support you need, please reach out to us. I'd like to thank Benefit for giving us this opportunity to host this for the 2nd year in a row and giving us that trust. To the Central Bank of Bahrain as well for patroning this event, and as well giving us support along those lines. The Global Shapers, of course, you guys were phenomenal in both your support for mentorship and your outreach and everything. I can tell you, thank you guys. You are honestly a wonderful community, and keep doing what you're doing. Of course, Tarabat Gateway, you guys as well really supported the teams with any further developments in the last 6 months. Tariq, Ali, I cannot mention how many people were part of this program that lasted longer than we expected. With no further ado, and I'm sure you're really excited and waiting for the results. So Hanan, I'll give it to you.
So without any further delay, I'm sure everyone is excited to know the winner. So for the 3rd place, the winner will get 500 Bahraini dinars as well as 1 month free residency at Bahrain FinTech Bay. And that goes to Jam'iyya. And for the 2nd place, yeah, exciting. So for the 2nd place, the winner will get 1,000 Bahraini dinars as well as 2 months free residency in Bahrain FinTech Bay. And this goes to Hassalti team.
Bravo.
And for the 1st place, the winner will get 2,000 Bahraini dinars, 3 months free residency in Bahrain FinTech Bay, as well as entry to Flat 6 Labs next boot camp. And this will go to FastFin.
Congratulations, guys. Well done. Awesome. Don't leave us yet. I would love to, first of all, call up the winners. If you guys, Amina, just raise your hands and she'll bring you up onto the panel. And then please don't go away. The rest of you would like all of the teams that participated to come up after. So for now, we can have, just for the photos, the winning teams. If you could raise your hand, Amina will bring you up. Congratulations, everyone.
So if I can have the winning teams to raise their hands for now. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Well done for all the hard work.
It's been a pleasure being part of this, and we would like to express our gratitude and thanks to our mentor and everyone who was working on this. Susie, Amina as well, she was following up with us, and also for Benefit. They had really swift and professional feedback, and also CBB. We really thank this opportunity. It's great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Our pleasure.
Congratulations to everyone here. I think it is well deserved. Thank you very much for everyone who have been with us for this journey. It was very interesting actually for me. Just for your information, the team that I'm with currently, I have just met them from this competition, and I really had the pleasure to meet this team. They are very hardworking and smart people. So yeah, congratulations to everyone around here, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, guys.
I don't find.
I need your smile.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank Tariq for his help, and all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, teams. If you can just have all of you guys smiling towards the camera.
Smiling is good, and no glasses, like if you're blind like me.
Yellow, 1, 2, 3. White smile. Thank you so much. And now if I can have the rest of the teams raise their hands so that I can introduce them as panelists.
Congrats, Ruwaida and Abdul Rasul. You did great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
الله يبارك فيك إن شاء الله.
All right, if we can have just everyone smile and their cameras on. All right, I'm just waiting for a few people to open their cameras. All right, Ayoub, if you can open your camera, please. Ayoub. All right, white smiles, please, everyone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Susie, look at me.
I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, guys. And congratulations to the winning team, and also congratulations to EXR and the other team as well. DigiTransit for joining us during the 6-month journey. We, advise you to continue with your journey, within FinTech, and that Bahrain FinTech Day will always be there to support you throughout your journey.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to
So
everybody.
much.
Hello.
Thank
So
you,
we'll be getting in
Amina,
touch with you.
Susie.
We'll be getting. You're
Thank you,
welcome. We'll
everyone.
be getting in touch with you next week to go through the details. So have a great weekend. Enjoy, celebrate, and see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you everyone. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.